What's up gamers, welcome to my Fight Caves guide. Whether this is your first cave, or you're just coming back and need a refresher before going back in, this guide will cover everything you need to know about the Fire Caves, so you can go get that Fire Cave. So first up, let's look at some gear setups. Here we have the budget setup. This will cost less than 400k GP. You'll get the caves done, but it certainly won't be easy. And this is only really recommended if you really are struggling for GP. Otherwise, I highly recommend moving on to the next setup we have, which is vastly improved with a blowpipe. This is the recommended setup. It'll only cost you around 5 mil, but you can upgrade your d'hide from black d'hide to blessed d'hide. That way you'll get more prayer bonus. We'll have the blowpipe loaded with mithril darts. If you want to upgrade the setup, you can go for an archer's ring, or a necklace of anguish. That'll significantly increase your damage per second. This gear really is more than enough to get the job done. You may struggle if you have a lower defense level, but at the minimum range level of 75, you'll be more than fine. And finally we have the max setup. While some may say it's not really max because I don't have a twisted bow, it's pretty close to it. This gear will set you back around 140 mil, depending on the prices. Additionally, if you have an imbued Slayer helmet and you're on a Jad task, you'll receive a 15% boost to both ranged accuracy and ranged damage. For this, you'll have to unlock Tazar tasks from your Slayer Master, additionally imbuing your Slayer helm. If you're not on a task however, you'll be fine without it. It's not a necessity. Now we can look at some inventory setups. Personally, for my inventory, I like to take 1 stamina potion, 3 range boosting potions, these are the orange bastion potions in the top right, 9 brews, 3 super restores for those brews, and then I fill the rest of my inventory up with super restores. You need to keep a ratio of, for every 3 doses of brew, you'll take 1 sip of super restore. I like to line mine up so I can click on my brew, and then super restore. If you're trying to save money, you can replace your bastion potions for range potions and the additional super restores for prayer potions. This won't save you much, but if you're really on a budget, you can do that. Up next, we're going to have a look at the monsters we'll encounter inside the fire caves. Let's start off with the bats. The bats are the lowest level monster you'll encounter inside the fire caves. They're level 22, they attack with melee. However, they do have one special effect. On every attack, whether it's a hit or a hit splat of 0 damage, they'll drain 1 prayer point. So, you really don't want to have multiple of these guys attacking you for too long. That will completely drain your prayer. It's recommended to deal with these guys while running over to another monster to fight. Coming up next, we have the blobs. These start off as level 45 blobs that when you kill, they'll split into 2 smaller level 22 blobs. They attack with melee, they don't do much damage, and you can use them to safe spot when fighting other monsters. Additionally, you can safe spot the larger blobs just like you would safe spot a healer. Now we might start taking some damage. These are the level 90 rangers. They attack with range, they have a max hit of 13, but if you are low defense, they are accurate and they will do a lot of damage to you. You'll want to pray against these in the earlier waves, but in the later waves, you'll just have to kill them before they're able to deal too much damage to you. These will probably deal the most damage to you throughout the entire fight caves. The level 180 healers are melee attackers that have a special ability to heal themselves and other monsters throughout the fire caves. Luckily, due to their large size, we can easily safe spot these to range them down and kill them without taking any damage. I'll show the safe spot to range them later in the video. Here we have the fire cave's scariest monster, the level 360 mages. These cast with magic and they have a max hit of 54. You'll also want to stand out of their melee range as they can hurt you with melee. Once these start spawning, you're going to want to always have protect from magic on while they're alive, otherwise you will die. Now we can take a look at the final boss, Jad. He attacks with both powerful magic and powerful ranged attacks, so you'll need to pray against these. Also, at half health, he'll summon 4 healers that will attempt to heal him back to full health. Once the healers have been dealt with, and if he didn't reach full health, you'll just be able to damage him down to kill him. Later in the video, after going through the waves, we'll show an entire Jad fight and explain the mechanics. Now we get to look at the waves of the fire caves. Starting at waves 1 to 14, you'll only need to deal with 3 monsters, the bats, the blobs, and rangers. Make sure you're avoiding being hit by the bats, you can kill these with a hit and run strategy. From wave 7, a ranger will spawn each wave. If you have low defense level, you'll want to activate protect from missiles to negate their damage. Wave 14, you'll face 2 rangers, so make sure you have your prayer up. During wave 15 to 30, we'll now have to deal with the level 180 healer. Fortunately, as said earlier, the healer can be safe spotted with both other monsters and the safe spots shown on screen now. Towards the east side of the caves is Italy Rock. We can trap monsters behind this. This allows us to safely damage it without taking any melee damage. This strategy will be especially useful as we can pray protect from missiles to avoid taking damage from the rangers that are alive. Now we're going to have to deal with a major attacking us. Up until wave 38, this isn't much of a big deal, since you can just keep protect from magic on to make sure they don't deal any damage to you. You'll want to make sure you're taking out the bats before attempting to kill the healer, otherwise you'll lose too many prayer points. Wave 38 reintroduces the rangers, which will now become our primary focus at the start of each wave. Since we must keep protect from magic on to defend from the mages, the rangers are now an actual threat to us. When the wave's monsters spawn, identify where the ranger is attacking you from, then quickly kill it before it deals too much damage. At wave 46 and onwards, you now have both a major and a healer. Like before, we will just safe spot the healer, then kill the major once it's safe. These final waves are the hardest of the caves, and for good reason. A lot of newer players tend to panic, but once you understand them, they really aren't that hard. Just like the last set of waves, always keep protect from magic on. Each wave will now have a major, healer, and a ranger. Our main objective for these waves is to safely eliminate the ranger as soon as possible. Wave 60 is the riskiest of the entire fight caves, as you'll need to tank 2 rangers while you kill the healer. Fortunately, the healer can sometimes get stuck behind another monster, so you should be able to safely kill the rangers. Wave 62 is the last wave before the final challenge of Jad. This wave is incredibly simple, as just praying protect from magic and damaging down the mages. You'll want to kill the red major first, as Jad will always spawn wherever the orange major has spawned. This allows you to be ready to fight Jad and immediately see his attacks, rather than being hit from off screen. Before you kill the orange major, make sure that you are healed up fully, you have full prayer points, and you're zoomed out, ready to see what Jad's attacking with. As soon as that orange major dies, immediately activate protect from missiles and your best range boosting prayer. In my case, it's a rigger, but you might have to use Hawkeye. It's fine. Tuztok Jad may seem intimidating, but with just basic reaction skills, you can ensure you take absolutely zero damage from him throughout the entire fight. The big lad has 2 attacks, a ranged attack where he stomps his feet down in front of you, and a magic attack where he leans back and then spits a fat fireball at you. As the magic attack has a longer animation, and therefore a longer delay before dealing damage, you'll want to keep your protect missiles prayer on, and only swap to protect from magic for individual magic attacks. Once you have damaged Jad down to half health, 4 smaller versions of the level 180 healers will appear around him. They will initially focus their healing on Jad. To deal with these, we must either kill them, tank them, or trap them behind Jad. Note that if Jad is healed to full, you'll have to deal with the healers again. I recommend just attacking all the healers and then killing them. That way they won't be dealing damage to you while you're paying attention to Jad's attacks. Once you've dealt with the healers, just keep swapping your prayers accordingly to Jad's attacks. Be careful that you're not losing too many prayer points. You may need to sip a dose or 2 of prayer potion or super restore. Also remember that drinking brews lowers your damage stats, so you'll need to drink a super restore. You may not kill Jad on your first attempt, and that's fine. It's all about learning the mechanics of how he attacks and how to protect against them with the prayers. Once you understand these, you'll easily be able to fight him and complete the fight caves. Now I'm going to show one of my fights with Jad. Here, you can see that I'm camping protect from missiles. I only swap to protect from magic when I see him lean up on his back legs to cast the spell. Once he's back down, I swap back to protect from missiles. There, I have to swap back to protect from magic twice in a row. If you want, you can also practice against his prayers before the healers spawn. It may calm your nerves. Once you're ready to fight him, start damaging him down. Make sure your damage prayer is activated. For me, it's Rigger. Then, once he gets to about half health, the healers spawn. You'll see I zoom out so I can see where they spawn. Once they spawn and walk over that they're close enough I can attack them without walking into Jad's melee range, I click them to attack them once. Then I try to get all 4 if I can. If your range level is high enough, you can usually just tag 1 or 2 of the healers and then focus on damaging down Jad. I like to kill all of them to get them out of the way. You'll see that one healer, when I attack, I run under Jad. This was really risky, and I'm lucky that I didn't get hit with a melee hit. I'll then keep paying attention to what Jad's casting with. Then, I just focus down the healers until all 4 of them are dead. This may take some time, depending on your DPS, but don't worry. Just stay focused on praying against Jad's attacks and you'll be fine. They may deal a small amount of damage to you, but usually healers won't ever kill you. Now that all 4 healers are dead, I'll focus my damage back on Jad. and keep paying attention to both my prayer points and what he's attacking with. If your prayer points get low, I've found the best time to sip a potion is after you've switched to protect from magic when he's winding up his magic attack. This gives us time to safely drink the potion, then get back to our prayer tab so we can swap back to protect from missiles when we need to. Then, when you reduce his hit points to 0, he's dead. You should now be a proud owner of a new fire cape. Congratulations. I hope this guide has helped you out. If it has, I'd really appreciate for you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Peace out, gamers.